Mother. I was living in Atlanta when my aunt came, found me at the grocery store, and told me I need to go home to take care of my mom. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with mom? I talk to her all the time. She sounds fine. She says, your mom has cancer. She's had cancer for the past 2 years, and she hadn't told anybody. So I put in leave of absence from work, and I sold my car, and I came home. When I got home, the first thing out of her mouth was, why are you here? Why did you sell your car? I've always wanted a Cadillac in the family. That's my mom. She's a cut up. So here, and I thought, well, I'm here to take care of mom. Everything's gonna be fine. And I went out looking for a job and figured it's gonna be a long haul. We're gonna kick this, and we was on the way to Athens, taking her to the doctor's office when it was me driving. My grandfather, her dad, was in the front seat, the passenger side, and my mom was in the back. So I'm driving along to Athens when she punched me in the back, and I'm thinking, Mom, why'd you punch me? So I pulled the car over. I looked in the rearview mirror first, and I realized that something was wrong. So I pulled the car over, and she was making motions like she was trying to speak, but nothing was coming out. And that's when I realized something is wrong. Mama has lost her ability to speak. And then I also realized she was losing her bodily function. So grandfather and I rushed her to the hospital, got to the emergency room. They put her in a room, and the doctor pretty much said the cancer has spread to her bones. She's probably not going to make it through the night. I called my family. I called my brother, who was in the Navy. It's going to take some time to get him. He was on the USS Guadalcanal. And I called him, and it's like, Mom needs help. So she's at the hospital, gave him the information, and they began to pump the fluid off her chest and just make us comfortable as they could. 2 days later, Mom was sitting up. She was talking. They put her in a chair. She was laughing and smiling and teasing everybody who came in. My brother showed up, he and his wife and their new baby, and he was glad to see her. She looked good, and he just like me thought, okay, well, maybe God's given us a miracle, and we're going to kick this thing, and she's going to be all right. That night, my brother decided to go back to North Carolina since Mom seemed to be doing good. He went back to North Carolina, he and his family, and I stayed, and they put Mom back in the bed. She had a little smile on her face, and I was sitting there in the chair, and I felt this light touch on the back of my hand. I realized I had fallen asleep, and so this light touch, although it was light, it woke me up. And I looked at Mom. She still had that little smile on her face, and something was wrong. I didn't see her chest moving up and down. Something was wrong. So I called the nurse. I rung the little button. The nurse came. She did her thing. She called somebody else. They pronounced Mom dead at 1 o'clock. And I thought about God had given us this moment. And so I went into action, called the funeral home, and called the family, and then I drove home. That Thanksgiving, it wasn't so bad. We always had Thanksgiving with family. It was not that big a deal, and we had a great time. Well, what happened later, Christmas rolled around, and I decided I'd go to my grandfather's. Now, my mother was big on Christmas. Mom would, 25 years old, and she was still spoiling us riding. We would wake up in the morning smelling the food cooking. We go into the kitchen. It's like, oh, yeah, we sit down and eat. She always had something special she was making. My mother was a great cook. So we were eating and having a great time. And it wasn't about presents because people was going to come in and out the house all day long. For those of you who don't know, my mother was a bootlegger, but she ran it like a business. So people was going to come out in and out all day long, chatting, talking. It was just a fun day. It was going to be an all day long day. She's cooking, and we opened the little presents we had. So this Christmas after she died, I went to my grandparents' house. I felt so out of place. And that's when it hit me that things would never be the same again. This was never going to be the same. And so Christmas have always been hard for me. It's always been a difficult time. I'm 60, I'll be 60 years old soon. And it's still a difficult time for me. So for those of you who are missing a loved one at this time of the year, I want you to remember that they love you. Think about that light touch. I'm hoping that you're going to get that light touch at Christmas, because that may have been my mother saying, I'm gone. Or, Terry, I love you. Or, you can get through this. And I'm saying to you, you can get through this. Remember your parents. Remember your loved ones. Enjoy this season. Do something special for somebody. I just finished dropping off presents for the children. That's my special thing during Christmas. I beg people to give gifts and then I drop them off. So I want all of you to have a wonderful and blessed Christmas. I want you to enjoy the season. I want you to remember that loved one and that light touch. God gave us that moment with our mom, that she didn't leave here all sad and struggling and couldn't talk. He let her leave. Our last impression of her was of her smiling and happy and joking. That's the way she lived her life. That's the way she went out. Have a Merry Christmas. God bless all of you. Thank you. Hi, LaCosta. I just realized you was there. Hey, Calvin and Sean. Hey, Mary Jones. Okay, guys, I'm finished. I just want to leave a message for those who are missing their loved ones at Christmas. And I hope y'all are having a great Christmas. Thank you.